Okay, great.
I believe we're going to get started now. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Juwonlo in Nigeria.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, as it may relate with you. My name is Juwonlo Michael, and I'm the coordinator for the Environmental Education Program at the International Support Network for African Development. So I'll be sharing my screen in a bit just to be able to introduce the organization and also talk more about why we're here. So in a minute, I'll share my screen. So I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Knowledge sharing workshop.
Okay. So you're welcome to the Intercontinental Knowledge Sharing Workshop under the Environmental Education Program of ICNAD Africa. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, great. So the International Support Network is committed to raising global and multi-stakeholder support for greener and climate resilient Africa. So we provide support for green growth in Africa, and we run a network of 1,500 professionals, researchers, students, and youth from across 139 countries. And this is done by through our programs and our various initiatives, one of which is the Environmental Education Program. So the Environmental Education Program empowers and educates students in secondary schools across Africa to identify environmental challenges and needs in their communities, to also develop solutions to the challenges by applying previously acquired knowledge from science and art courses in their schools, and to also work in groups in implementing their innovation, and they are supported by advisors with relevant experience across the globe. So we have 7 schools right now on our environmental education program for this cohort, and we also have 7 advisors for them across the US and Africa. We'll have some of them today on the call, and I will introduce them when they join the call. So the environmental education program enables students to acquire new knowledge and skills through their project implementation, through peer learning, and through mentorship. And our impact over the past couple of years, about 4 years now, has reached Nigeria, South Africa, Cameroon, Uganda, Kenya, and Ghana. This year, like I said earlier, we have 7 schools in the program, and that's across 5 countries in Africa. So today we'll be focusing on 4 schools for this workshop. And 1 second. Okay, we have 7 schools and with different projects. We have the Business Senior High School in Ghana, who are recycling biomass waste into an alternative charcoal briquette. You get to hear more from them later. We have the African Child College in Nigeria producing solar powered reading lamp. And we have, sorry, my screen is slow. Okay, we have the team from Christ Apostolic Church Secondary School in Nigeria as well. They are also on the call. You get to hear more from them later today. They are they developed a flexi digester for clean energy in Nigeria. We also have a team from Cameroon. That's the government bilingual high school in Cameroon. They are also on the call today. They are establishing a sustainable natural resource management system in Belabu. That's their community. And then we have Ngora Girls Secondary School in Uganda. They are also on the call. They are conserving water wells in their community in Ngora through afforestation. And then we have Nova Pioneer Girls School in Ghana. They developed 3 different models of water filtration system using plastic bottles and other materials. You get to hear more from them in another workshop that we'll be having in a couple of weeks. So these are the 7. Okay, the last project is from the Nana Girls High School in Kenya. These students produced sanitary pads from sugarcane waste, and you also get to hear from them in the next workshop. So these are the 7 projects we have in this cohort of the environmental education program, and then we'll be having four schools discuss their various projects today. We have the schools from Cameroon, from Nigeria, from Ghana, and from Uganda. So I'm just going to hand over now to Sherry, where she makes an introduction about the school, NY Smith School in the United States. And then from there, we'll just take the conversation away from there. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see.
Stop sharing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Soika. I'll just take my mask down for a minute here. We're still have some mask wearing in our school for still dealing with COVID, but it's getting better. So I'm Miss Soika with Nice Miss School. We're located in Virginia, which is about 20 miles outside of Washington, D.C. My coworker, Mr. Soika, is here, my co-teacher. And we also have 3 other classrooms joining us. So first of all, I'll let my classroom say hi. You want to wave hi and say hi to everybody? There are 7th grade environmental science students. Classroom 33, would you like to say hi? You want to unmute and say hi? And there's classroom 33. Another group of 7th grade students at Nice Miss School. Miss Hogan, would you like to wave hi? And then we have, who else do we have here? I think we haven't heard from Miss Bramnick's room. Miss Bramnick. And we have some students online as well. And we have anybody else who would like to introduce themselves that's on the call. I know we have.
Yes, we have our advisors here. I can see Christine, I see Maureen. So if they could go ahead and say hi. Hi, Christine.
Hi, my name is Kristen. I'm an advisor, and I've been working with the Lanana Girls School, and just saying hi. So excited to participate today.
Thank you, Christine. Hi, Maureen.
Hi, how are you? Hello, everybody. Good morning or good afternoon. I had a tremendous honor and pleasure to work with CAC Church School. And I'm looking forward to everyone's presentation, and I'm excited for the collaboration and to, yeah, that's me. I'm an architect, and I work with environmental sustainability education related to cities and buildings and architecture and things like that.
Well, welcome everyone. Do we want to turn it over to the 4 schools that did the projects and maybe have them talk a little bit about their projects? My students did have a chance to watch their videos and read their blogs, but it'd be great to hear from them.
Okay, before then, I was thinking, I play a video, just for the record, and we won't be able to play the video for all schools because they are quite long, but the shortest is from Christ Apostolic Church Secondary School. So they made a video of their presentation, final presentation on their projects, and I'd just like to share with everyone. So we'll just get to watch that, and then probably would start with them and then go on with other schools.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you. I'm going to play that now. I hope you can all hear.
And we are Team Biogas. The basic necessities of human life are food, clothing, and shelter. Of these 3, food is the basic necessity that is more important than the other 2. Approximately 7.9 billion people living on Mother Earth cook daily 2 times a day to sustain life. To cook, people different fuels as per necessity and availability. Some of these fuels are economical and environmentally friendly, while others are not. Around 3 billion people still cook using solid fuels such as wood, croppies, charcoal, coal, and kerosene in open fires and inefficient stoves. These cooking practices are inefficient and use fuels and technology that produces a high level of household air pollution with a range of health damaging pollutants.
3.8 million people a year die prematurely from illnesses attributable to the household air pollution caused by the inefficient use of solid fuels for cooking. Poor families in Nigeria spend a large proportion of their incomes on buying wood and other cooking fuels. Clean alternatives of cooking fuels are very expensive.
Bionet is an initiative that is focused on generating clean and affordable energy, creating additional income opportunities for farmers, creating jobs, and protecting the environment. Our innovation addresses the energy crisis. It has been a great cause of global warming using our unique modular system, Flex Digester. Flex Digester is a set of low-cost bio-waste processing equipment designed for households, mostly smallholder farmers, to efficiently generate clean energy. That is an income from bio-waste, the byproduct of production and household waste. So this how it works. See it now. This technology
You can no longer hear the video.
The current processing technologies are thermal, mechanical, or biological.
We can hear
This
it now.
process involves breaking down waste through fermentation, typically requiring concrete fixed dome digesters, which are neither mobile nor designed to digest matter other than manure and takes very long time for fermentation to occur. Gas burners used for cooking alone. Flexi digester decomposer gel speeds up fermentation up to 60% faster. It's a constituent of microorganisms extracted from cow dung through innovative laboratory preparation. Bionet decomposer gel and Flexi digester are both innovatively designed to ferment household bio-waste and agricultural post-harvest byproducts within 5 days for cooking gas production and fertilizer and electricity generation. Our dream of transformation is summarized in 3 E's. First, we will educate people about the different health issues, financial loss, and environmental harm, their current state of practice, and its results on them and the environment. Through our marketing campaigns and regular social events, we will encourage households and farmers together and build the community surrounding Bionet. We will empower farming communities, better yield and higher savings, and common people with all-time access to clean energy.
In the picture here, we are teaching people the usage of Flexi Digester during our pilot phase, currently ongoing in Sekabe village in Makodi, Benue State, Nigeria. We are continuously serving 5 households, which roughly translates to 15 people, and 82% of them have expressed satisfaction in using Bionet for its convenience and cost effectiveness.
Our SWOT analysis is thus. Our strengths. Bionet is currently the first commercial producers of mobile biodigesters in Benue State. So, we stand to enjoy first mover advantage. Our weakness. We we are representing a new form of markets and products in Benue State, and our major weakness is lack of access to research and development. Friends, currently, Bionet estimates that the shifts in political activities or policies may hamper our supply chain opportunities. Bionet stands to gain numerous opportunities with over 90% acceptance from our customers, the people, and the government. Our pricing model. With our unique and competitive pricing model, we produce our flexi digester, biogel, and smart burners at $12.3 per unit, and will sell at $16.84 per unit, against fixed dome digesters that currently cost over $72.16 per construction.
Our scaling strategy. We plan to set up one manufacturing space as our head office and then scale by renting outlets to cover a large market area in Benue State. Acquiring large market areas will lead to easy availability of resources, the acquisition of a market in the state. Our next step will be to set up outlets in other states of Nigeria. After that, our target will be to establish ourselves in other countries in West Africa. Our flexi digester validity period is 5 years, but to lock in our customer and keep generating revenue from them, our biogel has a usage period of 30 days and replacement is required. Our partners for sustainability, growth, and to scale. Bionet is currently partnered with 3 organizations. 1. Curiosity Planet Africa for product development, business development, and marketing. 2. Sessawan Taka University, an educational institute for research and development. And finally, Eastern Africa for mentorship and finance. A revenue model. A1. Since it will be our startup day, we assume that we are likely to produce an average of 500 units per day. Price at
Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing now. I guess we have seen enough. So we can just go ahead to welcome questions, or I'll just let the students from the Christ Apostolic Church Secondary School maybe give a brief summary again, if that's okay. And then we can welcome questions from your students from there. Is that all right?
That sounds great.
Okay. So students from Christ Apostolic Church Secondary School, you can unmute yourself. And so just give us a brief summary of your project in 1-2 minutes, and then welcome questions from there.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Today, we are Christ Apostolic Church Secondary School, Benue State, Nigeria. Okay.
We can barely hear you. Can you go louder?
Okay. Good day, everyone. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. We are students of Christ Apostolic Secondary School, Makurdi, Benue State, Nigeria. And the name of our innovation is Bionet. Bionet uses flex digesters to convert household waste and agricultural post-harvest byproducts through fermentation products, through the process of fermentation to produce clean cooking gas for cooking. And during cooking, we have our burners have thermoelectric generators that convert the heat produced during cooking into electrical energy that is then stored in batteries and can be used for household lighting stuff. That's it. Thank you.
I believe one of my students wanted to know what can go in the biodigester, like what types of things can go in there.
Any of the things that go into the as the name like biodigester is anything that can decay or ferment, any biodegradable substance can go into the biodigester or flex digester. Anything that decays, that ferment, that can go to the fermentation process, that is biodegradable substances can go, and that can be put into the biodigester. Example like banana peel,
cow dung, leaves, food, leftover food, yam peels, stuff like that can be put into the.
And it does not end there. Going further, our flexi digester makes use of decomposer gels that speed up the fermentation up to 60% faster because they are constituent of microorganisms extracted from cow dung through innovative laboratory preparation that makes this waste to ferment within few days. For cooking gas production, fertilizers, and electricity are being generated through thermoelectric generators.
Great, thank you, thank you. And it looks like there's another question from students in the chat. How many meals can be made with a full biogas bag?
Okay.
So with the biogas, a typical family of 4 can be fed. For
Sorry, for some reason, we're having trouble hearing you.
Okay, based on statistics, our food being cooked is depending on how many, like the amount of the biodegradable substances that are being placed in our flexi digester. So we'll be able to generate cooking gas under 5 days. Like,
and the number of food being cooked depends on like
the amount of the biogas.
And the amount of food you want to cook. So the number of members of the family, you cannot put a particular number actually. So based on how much members of the family are there, how much food you want to cook for them.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. See, I think there was another question in chat here. Let's see. What was the most challenging part of building the biogas system? Whoops, I need to.
During the building of our biogas system, we faced a lot of issues due to time management. That was the most challenging part of it because we are students and then we have to schedule our studies, we have to schedule, and presently now we're about to write an external exam. So we were so choked up. It's not as if our innovation was that so complicating for us, but due to schedule, due to the time, we needed to manage time before we were able to meet up with the requirements.
Yes.
And also money too factor. Money factor, you know, we're students, so we don't work. So, and then needed to be like,
yeah. Well, the product is really exciting and very impressive because you kept the cost low and the value of it is so great to people. And the fact that it's portable, it's amazing. It's really fantastic. Yeah. So I know you're going to try to scale it up maybe and sell it, right? It looked like you had a model. That's great. And one of my students said, if you had resources, more money and resources and material, like how you might improve it or how you might, sell it in the future, what your plans are.
Like our innovation is more of like a business. It's just like a device that can be sold to others. So we are starting up this just funding, so we'll be able to make this into mass production so that it can be sold in markets and other places, so that householders and farmers can get it, so they can efficiently generate clean energy from cooking and generate cooking gas, and then under low cost, because in our country today, we actually find much people that don't make use of the right form of fuel for cooking, such as wood, crop waste, kerosene, you know that. So our product is marketable. We can sell them. That was the reason why we started producing biogas.
And our scaling strategy is to start first with our community. We set up manufacturing space as our head office. Then we rent other outlets in different parts of our state. so for easy availability of our customers. Then from there we can move further to going into other states in our country before we can go further into other countries in West Africa and Africa at large.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very exciting. Really great project. Juanlo, do you want to do a few more questions for them, or do you want to move on to the next project? I'll let you manage the time.
Okay, so one last question here. It says, how long did it take you to fully complete your project?
It took us about 3 months. About 3 months to fully complete the project.
So 3 months.
Okay.
Okay. I think Maureen was raising her hand. I'm just going to unmute.
Oh, may I ask just, I just want to ask a quick question, because I thought the one thing, because I worked with this group and I was really impressed. There's a lot of innovative things going on here compared to like previous. So they took on a lot of challenges of innovating, both the mobile flex, using the accelerator, everything. And then the one thing I don't think we heard too much about was the electric generation. So that's like another piece. So it's like they had a whole processing plant. They've had a miniature processing facility. They've taken the cooking process and so I would, with the light. So what I'd like to ask the group is if you can explain how did that work out? Are you happy with the product? Is it useful and all that? The electricity part. So you're taking the heat from the cooking to generate a light or something to charge your phones, and maybe also explain the time that people are cooking. Explain that whole process. If you could tell me how that worked out, please share with everybody. Thank you.
So the whole process of electricity generation.
Yeah.
Right. Are you hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can
So
hear you.
so the whole process of electricity generation. So attached to the stove is the thermoelectric generator, and that's what converts the heat produced from cooking to electricity. Then with the electricity, you can use it to power your household devices and even lamps for living.
Okay, and she asked how satisfied are you with the product?
Very satisfied.
So when you charge the lamp, for instance, with the thermoelectric generator from the cooking, how long does it last?
4 hours.
4 hours.
24 hours.
24 hours. Okay. All right. So I think
Thank
that's
you.
that.
That's excellent that it lasts 3 to 4 hours. That's fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next theme, and that's Business Senior High School. Are you ready? I think your video is blurry. You can barely see your face. Business Senior High School. So let's just move on to I'm going to mute you. So okay, great. Let's move on to government bilingual high school in Cameroon. So you can unmute yourself. Government bilingual high school, Cameroon. I want to know what's stuck here. Please, if you're not speaking, kindly turn off your mics. Government bilingual high school. Are you there? Government bilingual high school. unmute yourself if you're talking. I can see you on the call.
Do you want me to ask a group to unmute?
Yes, that's government bilingual. Okay, I think they're out of the call now.
We could try another school if we're
Okay,
having trouble.
all right.
with that.
Ngora Secondary School, Ngora Girls Secondary School, are you ready? Yes, so you can unmute yourself if you're ready. Awesome.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so go ahead to introduce yourself and talk about your projects briefly.
So this is Ngora Girls Senior Secondary School. My name is Winnie. I'm the chairperson of the club. It is called Ngora Green Environment Campaign. So here are my friends. I'm Monica. I'm Penina. So these are the friends who are working hand in hand with me, and we have our patron here with us.
Hi.
Hi, Richard.
Hi. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, so our main, in fact, our objectives of the project are to sensitize the students and the community about environment protection. This is because in the past years, there was too much drought, so we had to find solutions to drought. So the next objective is to increase suitable vegetation cover around wells, because even during that drought, most of the wells dried out and there was no other source of water for the communities around. Then the next was to clean up the wells and to remove the silt that had covered the wells, making them to dry out. And we had it done by the three steps, in 3 steps. That is, we had to plant Paspalam, we had to plant the Lantana Camara, and we had the sacks of sand. That was to prevent the surface runoff from washing the silt into the water sources, which makes them to dry out.
And so far with this project, we are seeing some good things that are happening. One of the impacts we have are the protection of biodiversity. It has led to the conservation of organisms that are in water. Take, for example, earthworms, the frogs, the toads, because once the water is clean, you find that even these organisms get good air and they survive. And secondly, there is also provision of safe and clean alternative source of water for the people around. Because for us here, the boreholes are very far, and you find that it is only the wells whereby people can get water. So you find that when the wells are conserved, there is clean water and the community around can use. And then also the next impact we have, it is the vegetation cover around the water source has been improved, because we first plant Paspalam, followed by Lantana Camara, and then also heap sacks of sand around the wells, so that when that water comes, it will not be able to flow into the wells. That is so far what we have done concerning the impacts.
And concerning the solutions, we are sensitizing the students and the community on environmental conservation and climate change. And also we are protecting the waterways by the 3-layered structure, that is planting Paspalam to compact the surface of the soil, and also to reduce the surface runoff Also, dispersed pollen will minimize the direct heating of the soil near the well, hence conserving moisture for improving water table. We have also planted trees in the community to improve on the weather, and also raising of the seedlings to serve to the community members to improve on the climate action.
Yes, hello.
Okay, we have also planted shrubs to improve vegetation cover near the wells. That is, we have planted Lantana camara. Then we have also heaped bags of sand around water sources. That is after the Lantana camara. Then we have also organized students to clean the water wells of silt and runoff, including garbage like that is non-biodegradable materials like plastics, polythene papers. We have cleaned the wells by removing those materials. Then we have deterred grazing of animals around wells. That is because when the animals overstep on the soil around the wells, that soil will become loose, and when surface runoff comes, it will wash that soil into the wells, making the wells to dry out.
And then finally, we're also raising seedlings in the nursery so that we can serve around to the community and they can plant, which will improve on the climate as well.
Thank you. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Fantastic job. Fantastic job. That's a really lot of ambitious projects. Very, very wonderful projects, and so important in keeping the water clean, making it cleaner and healthier for everyone, and all the plantings you're doing to help in the community and with climate change. So that's fantastic. Joanna, do you want to call on people for questions? Do some of the sponsors
Okay,
have questions, or?
Does anyone have questions? Christine, Maureen, anyone?
I just want to congratulate you on what an incredible project. I agree with Ms. Soika. It's super ambitious, and I'm curious, was there an order in which you chose to address these different things? Was there some logic to that, or was it that you just conceived of these different pieces and did them all together?
We planted the jackfruits, and we did not really mind of the number, but we planted many of them because we really wanted to improve on the climate, and we chose jackfruits because they have these large roots, the taproots, that will help to bind the soil, and when surface runoff comes, it will not wash away that soil. And we also chose jackfruits because they also provide fruits. That is when there is drought, people may lack food, and the fruits may act as an alternative source of food.
And then also the reason as why we chose jackfruit, jackfruits have large leaves and they can absorb a lot of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which will help to reduce its levels. And then also during the dry season, those leaves can fall off, which will improve on the soil fertility as well.
Thank you.
You also mentioned something about silt and working to clean the silt out. Did I hear that, or did I misunderstand?
And it is also easy to manage jackfruit.
May I ask a question here? Can you talk a little bit about like how you've been communicating with the different people in the community? And did you have to, yeah, how was that experience? Like talking with people in the community about the challenge and your project? Maybe talking with your other colleagues. And then also I'd ask how can this like be repeated in other locations?
It was interesting talking to the community because there were arguments. Most of them still wanted to cultivate up to the swamps, but we had to argue with them until they had to come into an agreement with us, and they allowed us to plant those 3 layered structures: the paspalum, the lantana camara, and the bags and the sacks of sand. They indeed actually something that is great, because when you go now to the swamp, you find that they do not cultivate up the swamp side, and the wells are really very clean. It was really something that was encouraging, and they're now abiding by it, and they appreciate.
Hold on. So we have another question here. It says, what is the biggest challenge you faced in trying to educate others on sanitation and the environment?
Okay, the main challenge actually, because in these up countries, not all people have gone to school. So the main challenge was that there was a language barrier, and time also was not a friend. And in language barrier, because for us at school, we use English as an official language. So when you go out there, speaking to them is very hard. And then time, on the other hand, was not a friend, because we are students, we have to be at school. And the worst bit of it is that the program got us when we were at school. We didn't have time to go out, but at least we had to squeeze some time on weekends to go out there, and it really took us a lot of time.
And the other challenge was that most of the community members were conservative. They still had that mind of cultivating up to the swamps, up to us. So it really took us a lot of time to convince them to stop cultivating in the swamps. That was the biggest challenge.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Does
you.
anybody else have any question for them?
Yeah, I think one school I think has had trouble staying connected, but I think they're on right now. Just checking.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ngora Girls Secondary
Yes,
School.
thank you. Fantastic work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll move next to, let me see. The Government Bilingual Secondary School, are you ready? Government Bilingual School in Cameroon, are you ready? Kindly unmute yourself if you are.
Yeah.
Okay, we can hear you. Go ahead. Hello. Introduce yourself and summarize your projects.
Okay. Hello. This is GBHS Belamo, Cameroon, specifically in the East region. We are all the members of the EE Club. So we are about to talk about our project, which we have been carrying out almost since the beginning of the year. So the project was en route, process by process. We all know everything cannot be completed at a time. So most of the things we carried out, which was on the project, we had sensitization, we had classwork, that is to study about specifically on waste management, deforestation and waste management, deforestation, and how to combat it. That is how to prevent it and how to manage our waste at home. We also had another project, which was one of our main projects, which carried out all other projects, which was reforestation by creating our garden. This garden took us a long time to create it. This garden, we had a project of a garden to create a garden. This garden was mainly to practice reforestation, to also show to the population that they should also practice the same issue by replanting back these trees. We had the project of sensitization, that is to advise other people out of our campus to really carry out, to really practice what we are doing so as to make it general in the whole environment. And we also had the production of manure to prove that, to show how to make, to use our dry grass, which we clear from our farms for cultivation, to make it useful. Rather than burning it, so we could use it to produce manure, which we can use for our growing plants. So that is how the project was really en route, process by process.
To reduce waste, we use the 5 R's, which were reuse, repurpose, recycle, reduce, and refuse. So during our process, we use but refuse and reduce. So we use reduce and reuse. Since we cannot get up a day and start, we stop. So we choose for reuse and reduce. We reduce it by trying to reuse our tools. Example, we can have a plastic and use it for another thing rather than throwing it. And also we reduce it. We also take another stand for reusing. Example, the manufacture of manure by reusing our grass rather than throwing it or burning it. After using the 5 R's, we also went through by sensitizing our whole school on how to manage wasteful products in our environment, because we mostly realized that students go to the canteen, they buy this food, and when they finish to eat, they throw it like that on the environment. So we went through by sensitizing them and providing trash cans with 2 different colors, the green and the red color. The red color trash can was for the non-degradable waste like plastics, papers, and bottles. And the green trash can was for the biodegradable waste like banana peelings, orange peelings, and all the like. So that is what we sensitize our school, and the process is going on correctly. Also sensitize the From there, we visited another school. When we visited that school, we tried to sensitize them on the advantages of replanting trees. And on leaving them, we plant 1 tree in that school to actually show them that planting trees is important to the environment.
Who's talking on the round table? Also, we also had a round table, which was mainly to also discuss all of these issues, to talk about, that is, we know one cannot know everything by itself. So we also brought people who have been working on field for that since we are students. So we also brought people who have been working on fields to also tell us how it really works on field, so that we'll be able to better organize ourselves and carry out better planting and better management of the garden. And also on this round table, we also had our schoolmates and also teachers, which also helped to guide us and also share the knowledge with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, students. Does anybody have any question? I have a question though. So you mentioned that you produce manure from the grass you cut, or from the waste you had on your school farm. Can you tell us the process of producing manure out of that grass, out of the grass?
Yes, we can give the process. It's just a simple process, but long to carry out. The process of producing manure is really simple, mainly from what we clear and abandon as a grass, a creeping grass. We use a creeping grass. We need dry leaves. We need water, that is humidity. We really need a cold area for it to really go into good procedure. That is, should be moist. And we also need sawdust, what we also abandon, or what we also remove from wood. So we see that all of these things are mostly waste in which we are going to use to produce the manure. So on mixing the creeping grass and the dry leaves, you apply a little bit of sawdust, not in dose, because in excess it is going to change the order of the manure, which will disturb the environment. So a little bit of the manure and enough water in it so as to keep it. We know the sawdust contains, when it gets rotten, it contains nitrate substances, which the soil needs for it to become good and efficient for the growth of plants. So, and this process is gone day by day. That is, the manure process is not a process of one day, but it's a process of about 3 months or 2 months. That is for it to decompose, because the plants and the creeping grass needs to decompose. So after 2 to 3 days, you need to come and check it and add more water. 2 to 3 days, add more water and add sawdust for it to also fasten the decomposition. And also, if you guys really looked at the pictures which were put on the screen, you find out that some palm fronds were placed beside placed on the field where we're producing this manure. This was to reduce the rate of sun rays, that is the rate of sunlight, because it really needs to be moist, and so we really need to cover it up so as to prevent excess evaporation of the water from the dry leaves and dry plants. So from time to time, it is checked from day 2 to 3 days. And so this process, by 2 months, this manure is ready to be used, and it is mixed in the soil for it to release its nutrients onto the soil. And these nutrients can be released when water has been applied on that soil. That is, the nutrients move from the upper soil, that is, to the lower soil, which the plant is able to collect it upward by its roots. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're ready to take your questions, but because of time, I'd like us to move to the last school, that's Business Senior High School in Ghana. And so we'll take all the questions together after we must have spoken about their projects. So Business Senior High School, are you ready? If you are, please go ahead to unmute yourself and put on your video so we can hear from you.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All of you are involved. My name is Daniel Charles Luanga.
I am Daniel Lydia. I am Abdullah bin Julia.
And I'm Tamon Paul.
And I am Abubakar Aisha. And I am Majid. Okay, we are students of Business Senior High School, and we have taken an initiative to identify a problem in our environment, which is cutting down of trees. And with this, it's caused a lot of harm in our environment. For example, more trees are cut down, the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere increases.
which also brings about global warming. And we as heroes of change of business senior high school have come out with possible solutions to solve these problems to make life more easier and simple for us.
And the main reason why these trees are being felled down is just for energy to be used for cooking. Most people cut down trees to use as firewood. Others also use it as charcoal in order to be able to cook their meals. And this is a major challenge here in Africa, specifically Ghana in the northern region. And here, when you come, we have a lot of resources such as agri waste. So we, as business senior high school students, we decided that why not stop the cutting down of trees and put into use our agricultural waste which we have in abundance. So we therefore decided that let's use agri waste such as rice husk to process it and to recycle it into an alternative charcoal, which is what charcoal briquette, to be used by everybody and to stop the cutting down trees to also improve our climate change. This is how we do it. We gather our agricultural waste such as our rice husk, then we go into a process of carbonization. We'll carbonize it to get our char, and it is the char we are going to use to make the charcoal briquettes. When we obtain the char, we add starch to it so that it can easily be compacted. And we've also designed a local machine that we can use for the compression. And when we do our mixing with the starch, we then compress it into the charcoal and the shape that we want it to be. Then we dry it and then it's ready to be used. It's actually an eco-friendly charcoal because it's smokeless. It doesn't produce smoke. But when they take the firewood to cook, that one produces a lot of smoke, which kills people annually due to indoor air pollution. And people go a long way to cut trees and their lives are in danger because going through the bush, you can be bitten by snakes and other harmful animals. So when we stop all these things, we would get a clean and affordable fuel to cook our meals. And also people wouldn't risk their lives going long distances to get source of energy for cooking. Also, when we started, we did our community sensitization. We went to other schools to educate them on this project. And actually, it was an experience because most of the people didn't want to believe it because they look at it, let's say there's a tree, you go and cut. It's more easy to cut tree to use than to buy charcoal briquettes. So that was a challenge we had, but we are able to combat it and we are doing our project very, very well.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any question?
I think that's a really great project, really helping people in the community reduce their indoor air pollution and, give them that clean cooking source. I know one of our students asked how long it takes to make the charcoal briquettes.
It doesn't take us long to do this charcoal brick. In a day, we can produce a lot of them, and it is not very labor intensive. So maximum we take 5 hours to produce charcoal briquettes.
All right. So 5 hours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Really, really interesting project.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So is there any, what about, so the briquettes, though they do have smoke, right? Or it's just less, it's less polluting than the wood or the wood charcoal, or how does that improve the indoor air quality?
Please, can we hear the question again?
Yeah, no, oh, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
So you're still burning like charcoal in the house, but it's a briquette made of recycled, you were saying like corn husk and biomaterials, is it, do you still have a pollution problem, inside indoor air quality problem though?
No, please.
So it's smokeless. Are you saying the briquette is smokeless? Is not. It doesn't darken the pots. It doesn't produce any smoke.
Yes, please. We have charred the agricultural waste in such a way that it's very confined and it produces no smoke when burnt.
So our briquette is so nice to the extent that it lasts longer, it doesn't charcoal, it doesn't produce smoke as compared to the traditional way how they produce their own. Because if how we produce our briquette is in a confined manner, that makes our briquette burn effectively. And it's good for the stoves northern here. So it doesn't dirty the pots used on the briquette.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so back to, okay. There's a question. How is this product made available to the community? How would you make it available to the community? Do you have a packaging strategy or anything? Are you still there? Business Senior High School. Okay, if not, we'll go back to government bilingual secondary school in Cameroon, and just ask a few questions from the chat. The questions we have here are, how long did it take you to clear out the field to plant your garden? Government bilingual school, how long did it take you to clear out the field to plant your garden? If you're still on the call. Please unmute your mic. Government bilingual high school.
It never took us a lot of time to clear the garden, that is a field for the garden, because since we proposed this to our school and the friends of our schoolmates, they were ready to assist since we gave them the advantages of this project. So we really, our classmates really helped us in cleaning the field for us to start the planting.
Okay, so it didn't take you so much time.
A week.
Okay, about a week. All right. Thank you. So the last question I have for you here is, how are you implementing the 5 hours of waste management in your daily life? So I think two of you can just mention how you are implementing the 5 hours of waste management in your daily life.
The 5 hours actually we talked of 3 that we implemented, since the 5 could not be implemented because the project, that is the complete refusing. We know many people won't accept to refuse some issues because they will always tell you they have their own issues why they use it. So we took we used recycle, reuse, and repurpose. And reduce, meaning we can reduce the rate of using plastic wrappings, we can reuse plastic wrappings, and we can repurpose this same plastic wrappings. So we didn't really implement the 5 because all the 5s are really difficult to implement all the 5. So we took the most specific in which we really specified in, because these 3 can cover up the others, can take us for a good period of time in which, since we need to use what people will really use, still then it's still going to prevent the pollution of the environment with this implementation of these 3 orders, leaving apart the 2 orders.
All right. Thank you so much, students. Thank you so much for answering the questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for your questions. We have nice messages here in the chat to students. From Christine, we have congratulations to you all. I'm so inspired by your innovative thinking and commitment to making the world better for your communities. Your work gives me hope. I'm so sorry I have to go. Congratulations again. Thank you so much, Christine. Jen says, thank you so much. We're inspired by the work you're doing to help the whole world. And I think Sherry says all of the projects are amazing. We have loved learning about them and joining you on the Zoom today. Thank you so much, Miss Smith School. We appreciate you for your time on the call. Thank you so much to all 4 schools. Thank you so much, Sherry, for your time. Oh, I think it's time, and I don't want to hold anybody longer here. So if
Hello.
Keep up the great work, everyone. Keep up the great.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Same to you.
All right, everyone. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.